Good day. I am up actually early for once. It's 7 a.m. It's about 13 degrees, which I thought was rather chilly for where I am. But that's okay, that's the way I like it. I am in the thriving metropolis of Merritt, BC. This is our stopping point on our way to Vancouver Island. And I thought I'd take a little walk around here. We basically stayed on the outskirts of town, the Best Western, which is back there with the Boston Pizza, and there's a Mike's. What do they call it? Mr. Mike's. And I don't think it's the best Western I've stayed in. It might be in the second or third best Western. It was clean. Expensive. Bed was comfortable. Breakfast, meh. It was hot but mediocre. But it's free. If you consider what you pay for the room, though, it ain't that free. We were supposed to stay at the Comfort Inn over there. There's a truck stop back there too, and so I'm getting a fair amount of traffic from it. So we'll make our way across the highway and go into town for a bit. Very picturesque place though. I love this valley. It's called the Nicola Valley, I believe. I guess they're not really big on pedestrians here. You have to walk on the shoulders of the road. Now, Merritt to me has always just been a pass-through city, town, I guess. It's a town of about 7,000 people. And it's not really grown too much. So that's the Coquihalla Highway there, or Highway 5. Goes south from Kamloops down into Hope, BC. And that's where it meets up with the Trans-Canada, and you carry on into Vancouver that route. I finished my mediocre breakfast at the Best Western, decided I should try and explore this town a little bit. Like I said, it's always just been a pass-through route for me. Most we've ever done here is stop for a coffee, really. The weather here, like I said, is kind of chilly today. It's 13. They appear to have all of the fast food amenities and such. And box stores like Canadian Tire and Walmart. So it is a proper town. I'm not sure what their major industry is here. One of their claims to fame is being the country music capital of Canada. They have a country music walk of fame, which I'm hoping to get to this morning. We'll see. And I think there's a museum as part of it too. Won't be going into the museum, but I'm kind of anxious to see this walk of fame. It's about 3 kilometers from our hotel, so it'll be, a solid walk there and back. Might have to hit the McDonald's or the Tim Hortons for coffee on the way out. The stuff in the hotel is best described as, I don't know, horrid. Both the color of tea and the flavor sensation of swamp water. One thing I've noticed about Merritt is the drivers don't give two shits about pedestrians. So if you're walking, just be mindful. Getting off the main drag now, which is good. Quite a bit quieter. Especially at 7 in the morning. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. I mean, it is a weekday, so people have jobs to go to. Got a little turned around there, so I'm backtracking here. Google Maps is fine if you have the settings right. I like to set it so that north is always your bearing, so you know which direction you're headed. Look at the size of that pine tree. This residential area in Merritt is very quiet and very clean too. All the houses are well kept. I don't know if this is a retirement place or what, but I'm liking it so far. It's fairly dry here. They don't get a lot of moisture, so they do a lot of irrigation in the valley, and you can see people who choose not to spend the money watering their lawn is fairly brown. They say the temperatures here are relatively moderate. I think in the winter, you know, it might get as cold as -10. Summertime driving through here, I have seen it in the low 30s, so like anywhere else, you get a variation in temperature. I think the average temperature this time of year is around 24. Okay, I'm gonna have to head back onto the main drag again. This is Highway 5A. This is the road you would have taken, 40, 50 years ago, I guess, before the Coquihalla. That basically cuts right through town. This would have been what you would call the milk run, getting from southern BC up to Merritt and then on to Kamloops. Happily, for most of our trip, it looks like the weather's going to stay in the low 20s, which just suits me fine. Like I said, a lot of times I've been through this valley and it's been hotter than the hubs of hell. Even today at 13, I think that's a fairly cool morning for them here. I'll take it. I think I could have stayed in that neighborhood until here. Luckily, this road isn't that busy right now. Everyone who's going somewhere must already be there because there isn't much traffic right now. Everybody's waking up, I guess. A nice big hill to go down. Sadly, it means I'll have to come back up again. So it looks like city center is in a nice low valley here. The winds coming from Kamloops into Merritt were just crazy yesterday. I don't know. I had the tires balanced on my truck the other day, so I'm maybe convinced that it's wind fluttering underneath my running boards that make it shudder. I haven't changed the spark plugs in a long time either. I was going to do that before we left, but didn't have a chance, so. Good gas mileage though. Averaged 13 liters to 100 kilometers. So what's that? 16 miles to the gallon? Compared to new vehicles, I guess that's not great, but my truck, the rear end's geared for towing, so it uses a bit more fuel. So at that rate, I call it a win, especially gas here being $1.45 a liter. When I have my camera up and I'm talking, I wonder if people think I'm holding up like a radar gun or something. Because they certainly give me the fisheye as they're driving by. So the major industries that got Merritt really going were copper mines and the lumber industry, or logging. Logging is still a big part of their economy here, and pretty much what keeps the town afloat. As far as crime here, apparently it's on the rise, and police have had to respond to a significantly higher number of mental health calls, so it ain't got that going for it. The unemployment rate in Merritt is about 10%, so that might be the reason why there's a higher crime rate. people struggling to get by, and then they do nefarious things, I guess. Nice little creek area running through downtown. Those large willow trees I always think are neat, just the way they droop down. The wild wind onion. Basically a wind power generator. The guy was kind of before his time. Here's a map of Merritt and the valley. Now I call where Merritt is located the Nicola Valley. I don't know if it's Nicola or Nicola. If you know, you can tell me. But we're just getting into downtown here. This creek runs pretty good. Got some good flow. And at my age, good flow is key. Information area here. Looks like that would be definitely an original historical house. And their garage, or what used to be, or their storefront back in the day. Lots of police patrolling around here. Interesting. Better watch my back, I guess. Either that or it's just they're spreading out to start their shift. People talk a lot about the number of trucks in Alberta, but you get into rural BC and there's just as many trucks out here as are in Alberta. Mural of George Jones. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. Tammy Wynette? Oh, Tanya Tucker. Wonder if that's her own signature. Coldwater Hotel, 1908. Starting to come across the more earthy citizens of Merritt here. Yeah, this is like taking you back to the Wild West. Now, I don't know where the museum is, or the Walk of Fame. Knowing me, I'm walking in the totally opposite direction of where I should be. Neat that they've been able to preserve this building, because I'm sure it does not come without much cost. Okay, so the Walk of Fame is plaques every so often. Unfortunately, people have scraped off the actual plaques that say probably some history of the person. But this is part of their country music Walk of Fame. Rick Tippy. This block is pretty original and historic, you know, in the buildings here that they've preserved. Keith Urban. The Good Brothers. So basically that's their handprints in the plaque. So I don't know if people have come along and scraped those off to sell them if they were brass or something. It's unfortunate. I had to laugh at myself. I'll get a little closer. I was walking by and it looked like somebody had spray painted a big penis on the side of that building, but it's the actual railing for their back door exit. You can see where my mind is. There's Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, so all along Quilchena Drive or Avenue, they have these plaques and everything. It's what they call their Country Music Walk of Fame. Now, I'm not sure if they had these people have performed here, or how they got these handprints and stuff. Toby Keith, Rip. Marty Stewart. You get the idea. Well, somehow Aaron Pritchett's picture remained. Everybody else's was peeled off. What does that say about him? Okay, so that's Merritt's Country Walk of Fame. Let's look at some of the artwork that they've done here. Tommy Hunter. Used to be the Tommy Hunter show in the 70s, that when you only had 2 or 3 channels, that's all you could watch. These are some real old-timey people that I don't even know. Johnny Reed. My wife's aunt loves Johnny Reed. I think she actually got her picture taken with him, and I think she was in her glee. Yeah, these murals, I don't know when they were painted, but the musicians are from a long gone era. It's neat the way they've either A, preserved, or B, dressed up these buildings to look like the Old West. Well, I should probably get headed back to the hotel. Excuse me. Shake my wife awake. And we need to get moving. We're going to carry on to Vancouver Island today. Not a lot going on in downtown right now. The Adelphi Hotel. Another original looking one. A few more plaques scattered around downtown here. That one was Lacey Dalton. I'm trying to remember if I can remember who she is. So my route back is basically the same way I came. That part of the trip was relatively uninteresting. Quite a few murals around town here. Mostly all country music related. Okay, does that mean they sell guns and fishing gear? Or do they sell fishing guns that you shoot the fish with? I love the deserty looking hills around here. Apparently you can get free tours of the, I don't know, I think just of the visitor center. Showed you this already. You might be able to get cheaper accommodations if you come actually into downtown here compared to the ones on the highway. I don't really know for sure. But our final bill for the Best Western was, I think it was $280 for one night. Bloody insane. And the way this part of town is laid out, I don't really have much choice but to walk along the highway here back to the hotel. It's not till we get to the top of the hill there that I can duck into a quieter residential neighborhood for a couple blocks. Sun is breaking through the clouds, and me without my hat and sunnies. What a dumbass. Nice little rose bush here. Yeah, they certainly keep the Western theme here, that's for sure. Just going to look at some of these real estate listings, see what you would pay to live here in Merritt, BC. Yowza. Okay, so depending on where you want to live in the area, it can be expensive. Maybe you got something like that rancher, fixed it up. You might have a reasonable house. I find real estate anywhere in BC a little out of touch, or a little out of my price range. Maybe that's more of an appropriate statement. There's a nice old early mid-70s Cougar, I guess. I think I still like the probably the late 60s version the best. I think my dad had a, I'm gonna guess, a 67 Cougar. I think that was the first year for a Cougar. Convertible. From what I remember, that seemed like a nice car. They really got oversized and bloated in the early 70s. The Cougar, I think, was based on the Mustang chassis, but the Cougar was a little bit longer, kind of designed to be a little bit more luxurious. Basically, yeah, like your father's Cougar, not your hot rod dragster Cougar. Lady fell over there, just kind of watching, making sure she's okay. She's up and moving, just checking her knees for scuffs. She must have pulled a Wheatley and tripped over the curb or something. Oh joy, a climb out of the valley here. It's a fairly steady climb, so shouldn't be too taxing, I hope. Even at 14 degrees, I worked up quite a good sweat here. I purposely put on my exercise jeans because it was cool, but could have wore shorts, I guess. I even debated on taking a jacket. Wouldn't have needed that. That is a nice cool breeze though. The ways I had to walk were not the most peaceful, so the tranquility level was low. But I think if you were walking like back up in those hills, there's quite a bit of residential, and I'm gonna duck into the residential here just to be out of the main drag noise. But I think it's probably somewhat of a sleepy town. At 7,000 people, you wouldn't expect there's a lot of activity. Plus, I'm right at quote-unquote rush hour. Nothing like a beautiful view of a transmission substation. Have to be honest, I like all this mechanical, electrical bullshit. Especially when it comes to the controls of making it work. Okay, I think I got a couple kilometers left to go. Peace and tranquility level jumped up to 8 in the residential here. Oh, this is pretty much all pavement walking, so I can really feel it in my ankles today. I'm just about back to the Coquihalla here. And yeah, my tour of Merritt was pretty good. I don't know if I ever need to come back here again. But it was Interesting to see some of the country music memorabilia they have on as far as murals and stuff like that, and the plaques of artists' hands on their Walk of Fame. And it's a shame some of the plaques of the pictures of the people and probably some other information were either A, peeled off to preserve them, or B, stolen, for especially if they were made out of brass or something. It's not too bad a town. It's certainly in a beautiful valley. Yeah, I saw people going into the Comfort Inn in their hazmat or protection suits. It's unfortunate. I mean, from here it doesn't look that bad, but I'm sure on the inside it must smell like a chemical lead campfire. So we're going to be heading that way south on the Coquihalla towards Hope shortly, and a couple good climbs through there. It's quite a climb leaving Kamloops a couple times there, and then you really coast down the hill into Merritt. You see a lot of smoking semi-trailer brakes on some of those hills. Surprisingly, I know it's a weekday, but surprisingly, not a lot of traffic. We like to come down the Yellowhead Highway and then Highway 5 from Belmont down into Kamloops, and it's 2-lane pretty much the whole way, but it's quite a quiet highway. Seems to be significantly less traffic on that road. Highway 1 from Calgary to Kamloops really is just to me kind of a shit show. It's way more picturesque, I think, and you got the tunnels and stuff like that, but going through the pass and everything is I don't know, it's just really slows you down, and lots of traffic. I do love this valley though. Very nice in here. It appears that this Walmart still allows overnight camping in it, as long as you don't take advantage of it. Take advantage in the sense that you're setting up camp for a week. A lot of Walmarts are pulling back on that just because of the hassles it seems to bring. You've got a lot of van lifers or whatever that try and take advantage of it and don't move on for days at a time. Kind of ruins it for the people that need just a quick overnight stopover. Well, just about back to the hotel, and my legs are tired. We ate at that Mr. Mike's last night, and the value for quality was not there. They used to be a bit more of a steakhouse than they are now. Most of their menu was burgers. But yeah, and their booze prices are horrendous. Now, that might just be typical, but she was expensive. Not what I classify a good $100 meal. Okay, back at the hotel. Let's see how we did. Okay, that was a good walk through downtown Merritt, BC. It was a 8.71 kilometer walk. I don't know why, but it says my personal best 8 to 10 kilometer hike. So whatever, I'll take it. Yeah, 8.71 kilometers, an hour and 47 minutes. So that was a good one for today. And a good look around downtown Merritt. Like I said, probably never really need to come back here again. So we'll carry on our trip until the next one.